slightest chance of changing the path in which our world is taking slow. It makes sense that the smallest little voice can make the loudest noise. And if they try to tell me my own fate, I'll turn it around, won't hesitate. What's the point of tomorrow if it's a future missing you?
Bring it on, cause I'm just gonna grow up in the battle A. Gonna let the darkness keep on burning my fire. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. I gotta stop this nightmare, because I'm dreaming of my future. Past, future, present is the world that we live in. I ain't scared of my past, because tomorrow keeps approaching fast. I'm screaming out for my pride.
Now I need you to wipe away your tears. The time has come to face our fears. To know
I'm never falling down, I'll keep on sailing. Now this is my destiny.
defy the world to make you smile. If it keeps you around a while, don't go.
I gotta shake off the pain for you and me. May our failures all rest in peace.
We'll strike back.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday Plat League. This is Group D, and we have ourselves a very exciting matchup tonight. It's Dorado Gaming New versus ROTM, Return of the Middle Sticks, Banditos. And we are getting ready for draft. I am Redacted, joined by Sultan tonight. Sultan, how are you doing? All the
I'm
way from
good.
Turkey, by the way. My man's
Oh
casting
yeah.
in Turkey.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm hyped up and I'm hoping for a series that will not make me regret staying up at 3 a.m. But I think we have some really skilled teams here
Mm-hmm.
today. So it's going to be a really fun series to watch.
Yeah, it will be a fun series indeed. As these teams are I mean, it's the start of the season. We don't really know too much about them, but we do have a little blurb from our preseason power rankings, courtesy of one of our staffs and staff members slash players, Chelsea. And I'm just gonna read a little bit about what she said about both teams. So she placed Dorado Gaming New at 11th, with the potential to make a deep playoff run, being possible for them. So Captain Mushai makes her grand return to the CCS after a heartbreaking end in a miracle underdog story last split. She's followed their progress a little here and there since its inception. And she's just excited to see what they can do. They had a strong showing in their most recent season of the Radiant Strike Esports. But they're a very scrappy team, and it shows in their team fighting and decision making skills. So that's our little blurb on Dorado Gaming New. And meanwhile, the Banditos, where did she place them? Looking at this document here.
I
Scrolling
think it
down,
was
scrolling down. Oh,
really
here
down
we
there.
are. She placed them actually 23rd on our power rankings here. So some brief background here on the Banditos. They lost to losing Delilah to Dorado Omega actually in the offseason really hurts this roster. um, she's sure Flay would have some basketball related analogy that fits here, but she does not care about basketball. So she's going to analogize this as the Golden Guardians losing their entire roster to 100 Thieves that one time in the LCS. The remaining roster has some stuff to look forward to, as she's played in houses with El Rush. And unlike Clean Kifford, El Rush has played top like a human. So they've got at least one confirmed human. Also, Lipple Lane is a goaded org owner. That's got to translate on the Rift somehow, right?
Mm, yeah. To be fair, I think it's a pretty well written power rankings overall.
Uh
But
huh.
I think I would pay more attention to the lock in, since at least we got to watch them a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
or like if not watch, we can see how they did.
Yeah.
And I think Bentitos like actually was like a first round exit for the lock-in tournament, which is like obviously not the best showing, but like they had some things going well for them. They lost like a close to 40-minute game. I think it was 36, and their bot lane and their top lane was performing perfectly fine. There was like they just got outscaled by a Kale, which like
Mm-hmm.
happens to everyone.
Yeah.
But
Right.
on the other side, Dorado, they were able to take down Team Ambition Sentinels, which I personally think the Sentinels team is not actually bad. So
Okay.
that kind of like shows. And I've seen Marshall, like their top laner, play for a few times now
Mm-hmm.
in previous leagues, and he's a really good player, a lane dominant top laner
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, and he can suddenly just like take over games by himself on the top lane. So
Okay.
like I think if I would compare the both, I would give the edge to Dorado. But like I think Dorado has better solo lanes to play through, especially like
Another
I said,
easy
Marshall.
win for Dorado Gaming, it looks like.
Yeah, uh, also known as Doritos, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so yesterday Dorado, the other Dorado team in the Wednesday League, Dorado Omega, they won their series 2-0 against CB Rush. We'll be curious to see if their sister team here in our Thursday league can also 2-0 the Middle Stick squad here. As there's actually there's three Dorado teams in total in the CCS this split. Two are in the Thursday league, one in the Wednesday. So Dorado is just trying to take over amateur, it looks like, and cultivate the best amateur talent they can find. So who knows how these all these three orgs will play out, as we are still waiting for draft here. I
I
believe
think
there's
they're
just.
almost finished in draft.
Am I in the wrong link?
Maybe, maybe because yeah, I was just waiting, but yeah, maybe just try to catch up from the stream.
Uh, I what do you, wait? Were there two draft links?
Maybe.
Oh,
Okay,
goodness
okay.
sake.
I'm able to see. Maybe okay. I'll take over for draft. So, um, obviously
Bruh.
I think they have their sub playing for the mid lane, Tough Daddy, which I also know him from my previous experiences in these plat leagues, and he got his Zerath, which he is really like really a really strong pick for him. They were able to pick up Mundo for Marshall, which is like I think Dorado. There was like something about Mundo and Dorado where they love to play that champion. Also, the Olaf in the jungle paired up with the Karma, which can be really hard to deal with, especially thinking the enemy team is really heavily reliant on CC from the Fiddlesticks, from the
Okay, I see
Leona.
draft now. So it turns out there was a new spectator link made, and I did not get it. So okay, now I can see what the draft was. Oh, this is very interesting. Go ahead, Sultan. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, well fine. So I really like the Olaf pick from the side of Dorado. On the other side, we see Return of the Middlesex opting for the Sivir. I think she received some buffs lately,
Yeah,
and
she did.
I think I saw Reckless play it on the stream, and it looked fine. But again, Reckless is a pro player and kind of a Sivir main when it was OP. But
Yeah,
I think Siri is a really good tool to use since like the ultimate actually is something that not a lot of ADCs gives it to their
and I
team.
believe with every, I I want to say with a kill or with a assist, it refreshes now, so it doesn't just time out once. With as the previous server ultimate did.
Yeah, like I think now they turned it to a point where if you don't get a kill, it's not as long. But if
Yep,
you get the kill, it just get keeps the team going. It's like it
exactly.
just kind of makes it just puts a better idea for the ultimate because before it was used as like a Sheraldo's grudge, which is
Yeah.
normally a usage for like a support or a supportive mid laner. Now it's actually like, okay, I can actually use my ultimate to win these team fights instead of like using it to disengage and all that.
Hmm.
So it's more of an offensive tool now, and it's not going to have as much power as a defensive tool. And I think they changed their E a little bit. But I also like the Azir pick. My
Hmm.
only problem would be maybe this team comp is a little bit too mid to late game focused. This this comp really heavily relies on this Fiddlesticks and Aatrox to make something happen in the early minutes.
Hmm.
And knowing that Fiddlesticks got counterpicked with the Olaf, the Xerath is really safe pick in the mid lane. And again, Mundo, it's not the easiest to make a pick on in the side lane. He just heals too much. The
Yeah.
initial CC invulnerability or like CC immunity, that's
Hmm.
also makes it that much harder. So I think I favored Dorado's comp a little bit, but if this game goes to distance to a point where like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, I think there's a decent chance that Middlesticks will kind of outscale and start winning these team fights. Because although Mundo's immune, Olaf is immune, Zeth and Misfortune is not. So those Fiddlesticks ults might
And
actually hurt in
karma.
the end. Yeah, they will hurt in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the name of the game for the middle sticks for the banditos is to, of course, get some early game kills, but scale, right? Sivir, Azir, they just want to be those late game hyper carry threats that you just don't want to play into or against. Meanwhile, for Dorado, they want to scrap early and they want to try to put as much pressure against the Banditos as quickly as possible to ensure that they don't play into these late game skill and threats. I mean, and plus Fiddlesticks, Fiddlesticks. I want to say Middlesticks. The whole you guys, y'all are
Yeah,
something
I
else with
understand.
that name and the pick right there. But yeah, the Fiddlesticks. I mean, he won't scale as hard in the late game, but you still have to remember that ultimate is dangerous. Like I'm sure we've seen it quite a few times. I remember them. I think the most recent iconic play was I believe Misfits. Was that last year now? Where they got the Fiddlesticks ultimate behind. I forgot what team they were playing against, but they won that game just due to that ult. So it's a very pivotal ultimate, and they're gonna have to make sure they track this fiddle and at least keep some awareness of where he will be when they start attempting to siege down these banditos towers.
Yeah.
But
And
oh, go ahead, Solo.
oh,
Go
my
ahead.
bad. I was just gonna add. I think the important thing for Dorado will be just like keeping the vision, making
Hmm.
sure they keep vision on Fiddlesticks, keeping track of Azir and Leona, because these are champions that can like come from any angle, and if
Hmm.
you're caught off guard, the Shurima shuffle, the Fiddlesticks ultimate, the Leona ultimate, all of them can just like be team fight, like the team fight just being over if you're just mispositioned while they use them.
Yep.
So they have ways to play around it, but I
Mm,
think it will come down to how Dorado respects the vision that they have or they don't have.
gotcha. So, and before we get into the game here, and before we cut to a short break, let me ask you, my friend, who is taking the series and how many games?
Oh, I think as a 2-0 Dorado.
2-0 for Dorado. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I think it's gonna be 2-1 for the Banditos. I mean, I know Dorado is a really good team. Um, but I kind of like their draft so far for game one, and um it gives me some hope that okay, this team has the potential to take down another Dorado team here. But we will find out if they will sink or swim shortly as we take cut to a short break as we prepare for game one. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, as we are now here and ready for the first game of Thursday Plat Dorado Gaming New against the return of the Middle Sticks Banditos. And we're just going to have ourselves a standard 5 point lineup here. We see Toyota, by the way, because that's what they told me to call them. That's the Sivir. We see Toyota and Lipple Lane there, and Hyping Hero just hovering around this mid lane here. But before we get further into the shenanigans here, Sultan, as usual, we always like to talk about runes and summoner spells. So, what do you see? Anything weird? Anything cringe?
Mm, Not anything weird. It's just
Mm-hmm.
nice to see Mushai kind of like realizing that they have the power. So it's like just in case running that cleanse will be really impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Because with this, even if Fiddlesticks comes from an angle, after the initial fear, she can use cleanse and run away before they get to stack their CC up. So like good, just recognition there.
I
Other
actually
than
do have a
that,
question for you, Sultan. Mushai, she is running Lethal Temple though on Misfortune. I haven't played much of bot lane recently, so what do you think about that actually?
well, I think they already have enough like kind of the pokey build or like the
Mm-hmm.
lethality ish build. I don't think there's a need for it. They already have the Seraph, so I think a little bit more DPS for Leona, for
Well,
Aatrox
wouldn't
just
PTA
might
be
not be
better then?
draft. Oh, maybe she's gonna go like a Kraken. Well, I guess you already go Kraken, but Lethal is not the end of the world. Maybe she wants the XA range after attacking for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the end of the world. PT is like much stronger, obviously, especially like how easy she can get it off. Like auto Q
Yeah.
auto just procs it, but um yeah, I don't think it's the worst. It's not the best too, but I think
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to get analysis, and let you flex that big league brain of yours and let the viewers at home know about your very critical and good analysis, because that's what you're good at, Mr. Sultan.
That's why we're calling caster.
That's why we
That's
that's why we pay you the big bucks. I mean, even from Turkey, right?
true.
I hope
But
Flays has international pay on your checks there.
uh not really, but like as far as the game goes, we see both junglers pathing towards the top side.
Yeah.
The pathing is pretty like I think they're all it's pretty similar like speeds. I think
Mm-hmm.
Olaf might be done a little earlier, but Aatrox already took a cheater recall and he's gonna be back in lane with I guess a longsword maybe. He's still waiting in base. Nope, he goes for the call. Yeah, but well, imagining that their team is just kind of looking for a mid to late game, it's
Mm-hmm.
maybe not the end of the world. Just getting to his mid game power spikes as fast as possible with Aatrox, especially that first item Gore Drinker will be maybe Gore, maybe Stride, but like that first item power spike will be really important for him. Especially
Yeah.
after that, he becomes really hard to deal with. If he goes for the Gore, it's super hard to kill him. Especially when you have like two melees in the top side.
Mm-hmm.
He regens a lot off the Gore Drinker heals. And if it's Stride, he just makes it really hard for anyone to kind of get away from him. When he already has dashes, he already has knockups. So with that slow chained with it, it really makes it hell
Yeah.
for these squishy carries.
Yeah, as we saw Broberry there in Tough Daddy looking to make a play on El Rush there, but they were unsuccessful. Unsuccessful. It is kind of hard to catch this Azir, but I think Lipple Lane and Toyota have different plans instead. Blowberry and Mushai will have to retreat from this bot lane just a bit temporarily as the Middle Sticks Banditos laners did get the better of the trade.
Yeah, and well, they did get the better trade, but Lipolin also burned the ignite. So after the potions come through, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be around the same HP, and now they don't have the ignite, so the summoner spell advantage is on Dorado. But
Lupulane gets the root stun again, but Mushai will use the slow and poke to deter Toyota from progressing any forward. And once again, just slight skirmishing here in this bot lane here, but nothing, no first blood yet. 5 minutes into the game, both of these teams are playing, with a little bit of I would say, respect for each other.
yeah, well, I guess. Also, I guess I can actually agree with you that PTA would have been much better. I think like those small trades would have been much more
Hmm.
in favor of Dorado if the PTA was on, but I
Hmm.
guess lethality might be better
Oh,
later
as
because of builds.
Lipple Lane lands another root stun, will force out the cleanse there from Mushai as the misfortune will back off. But Toyota was poked down to about an eighth of his health bar left, so he's gonna have to be really careful in this lane. As I believe they're just gonna try and clear out these minions, shove it a bit, and then retreat. As we see Dorado new securing this Inferno Drake.
Yeah, and like an interesting item choice. Azir did go for the Ionian Boots Rush, which I'm not sure if that's the most efficient. I'm not an
Mhm.
Azir master, but from what
Neither am
what
I.
I remember, I think the Lost chapter is like the first buy you want to get. If not, like Sork Shoes is also good. I think
Mhm.
Ionian might be a little, I don't know, unnecessary maybe, but I guess the flash cooldown might be helpful later on to the game when you're going for those like flashy plays with your flash and Shurima shuffle. So he probably has a plan, but we see
Oh,
hyping here getting
Broberry,
caught.
hyping hero, looks to have stepped too far in the opposing jungle. This Fiddlesticks will be punished for his arrogance. First blood over to Broberry for the Dorado new squad.
Yeah, and that just kind of shows how that matchup goes. Olaf just runs Fiddlesticks down, and Fiddlesticks is just not tanky enough to deal with the amount of damage that Olaf deals. And that was like not even level 6 Olaf. Thinking
Yeah.
that Olaf will be level 6 soon is just gonna be much harder for hyping hero to do anything. And like you don't want to get caught in like 1v1, 2v1 situations with the Olaf as Fiddlesticks. You want to just like
Hmm.
kind of farm, get
Yeah.
get your experience, get to level 6, and then look for these lanes to gank. But yeah, that kind of is a feels bad because now the Olaf has the first blood, and this might get him rolling, especially with the karma. The Olaf is really scary. The way they change the ultimate, as long
Hmm.
as he keeps hitting someone, he keeps the ultimate going.
Hmm.
So like even if it's not the Sivir, if he can hit the Aatrox, he can keep the CC immunity, and with the karma speed ups, I think he'll eventually catch the Sivir. Also,
Hmm.
Sivir is not the easiest champion to catch up, but it, a Carman and Olaf, especially with the Ghost. I think that will be enough. But there's a Lingen coming from the Fiddlesticks, and he is level 6, so this might be where they can pull something off.
Yeah, hyping hero is waiting in the bushes here as he uses the effigy there to also ward the middle bush there for his team, and he's just waiting for Mushai and Broberry to, or I'm sorry, not Blueberry, Blobby to push forward just slightly, but I don't know if he should wait that long. Yes, you have Crowstorm. The wave is pushing in slightly here. I may have spoken too soon.
The wave is in a decent spot, but oh, so
Now,
Toyota.
yeah,
Oh,
Toyota. Oh, as the Crowstorm is activated, Blobby does get the fear. Flash root stun from Lipolane. Hyping Heroes takes out the Dorado new support.
yeah, and I thought Mushai would use the ultimate. He didn't opt in for it. Maybe he could have gotten a
She
kill,
she
but
she didn't.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But good play. Well, he
Mhm.
missed the initial fear. I think the Karma Q got vision on him, so didn't let the fear go through from the ultimate. But in the end, they still get the kill. Lipolane did burn Flash Ignite, so the next time they come back into the lane, that might be something to look at. He
Mhm.
might like maybe die for it, but that's a good thing to get from the first Fiddlesticks ultimate that you use. Because the more you get out of it, the better it is for your early to mid game, which you kind of suffer with an Azir and Sivir.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely totally agree with you. I didn't think they could actually pull it off. I do think it was a good trade sacrificing Lipolane's flash there. I mean, he has the Hex Flash as well, so he kind of has like a mini flash later. So that was a good trade in order to secure that kill. Uh, Unfortunately, it wasn't Mushai they took down, and it was Blobby. So quite unfortunate, but they still got some gold into their pocket, and the kill score is now 1-1. Gold difference is only about 300 k or 300 gold right now, not 300k.
Yeah, and like 300 is really not that important for this point in the game. It's
Exactly.
mainly off the CS lead in the top lane and probably the bot lane a little bit,
Mm,
but like it's nothing that is undealable with. I think
yeah.
Marshall needs to be careful here.
Marshall using that maximum dosage. He is trying to heal up, and Cardinals will force the flash out from Marshall there, who will. Oh, I thought he was going to retreat, but he's going to stick around as that is a very big wave. As Cardinal will get that turret plate there. Tough Daddy will have to flash away from the Azir, who didn't even threaten to use the excuse me, the Shurima Shuffle there. So that is a summoner spell that will be very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, but
Whoa,
ooh,
Pro Storm.
yeah, that's an
What?
unfortunate use of maybe he
What?
misclicked. I don't know.
That has to be a misclick, right?
Yeah. Oh, the
Right of
Seraphim?
the Arcane.
Nah, not enough. But we see the dragon being taken, and like the first two dragons being taken from Dorado, they are a team that like kind of just wants to go to mid game and kind of end the game there. So for them to be stacking these dragons really early on is really good for them. Plus the fact that it's a hex tech soul, it's going to be that much better for them because their team comp wants to run the enemy team down with the Mundo, with the Olaf. Next tech dragon just makes it easier. It's as soon as someone lends any ability, the enemy team gets chained, slowed, and damaged, and it's just
Mhm.
gonna make it harder for the Sivir and the Azir to kind of kite the enemy team back, right? So
Yeah.
with that, I think it's a really good start for Dorado. And although they are down of 1k gold, I think the two dragons that they took and with how strong this Olaf is right now, I think it's not really a big deal that they're down some gold in the top lane.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying there, Sultan, but once again, I did vote for the Banditos to win this series here. So I'm going to definitely take a look at how they can continue to keep this gold lead, and they're showing us right now. El Rush gets the shuffle on Tough Daddy there, but Broberry is here to back up his Xerath as he is fighting 3v1 right now. 3v2 actually. Lane will be the first to go down, but El Rush takes the Olaf as well, sends him to Valhalla. But now Blobby and Mushai are here to take down High Ping Hero, who was trying to, I believe, channel the Crow Storm there, and they just kill the jungle of the Banditos. And they now look to secure this tier 1 turret or at least a plate.
Yeah, and like we saw why the Olaf is really strong, even though he wasn't able to kill Azir, he kept hitting the Leona, and then even then he was able to take down Fiddlesticks and the Azir to really low HP bars, which kind of ended up. Oh,
Right over
another.
there, Arcane again. Fancy feet.
Oh, that was close.
On the hunt is activated. Lipple Lane flashes forward again, but nothing comes of it. They will just go ahead and I believe they're just gonna clear out minions in the mid lane. Looks like they're I don't want to say yeah, looks like they're lane swapping now at this point. Or nope, I never mind. They're going back top.
No. Yeah, and that lane kind of just the bot lane trying to go mid to hold that mid turret ended
Mm,
up as them losing two more third plates right before the third plates were gonna time out. And
mm.
BC Dorado just closing the gap between the gold difference. It was 1k in favor of Banditos, and now it's like no gold difference,
It's
dead even
even
for gold.
actually. Yeah, 100 now. Just ticked over.
Yeah. So I think at this point that fight was like unnecessary for Banditos to like kind of go for, even if they had the
Mm,
numbers advantage. Because when you look at it, almost no one on their team has their mythics completed. Toyota
mm,
just finished the Kraken Slayer. And on the other side, the Olaf was sitting on Gore. Tough had his Leandri's finished. So when they were around, I don't think that's even if it's a 2v3 with mythic difference that they
mm.
were able to take down like at least come in come out of the trade favorable. And this is what they need. Like they were already doing good with the dragons, and with the gold league kind of swinging back to them eventually.
Yeah,
This
El Rouge will get the Shurima Shuffle again as these stun does miss. The solar flare misses from Little Lane, and he just burns his flash needlessly as El Ruche will secure the takedown on the Zerath there.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna flash, you have to flash there earlier. Even
Immediately.
after, even after the Shurima shuffle, there was
Yeah.
like a 1 or 2 second gap between like the Leona engage and Shurima shuffle where he could have flashed. Just flashing at that point is just unnecessary, but he does. Feels
Absolutely.
bad, but
Yeah, and now Hextech Drake is spawning in about 40 seconds here, so that is now a flash for a very immobile mage that will have to just try and poke out, this Bandito squad here.
yeah. I think another important cooldown here will be the flash for the Azir. He's not gonna have that available to him. I
Hmm.
think Leona ult and the shuffle should be back by the time the Drake spawns. I think the flash from the Zerath is not really the end of the world. He should be staying out of the range of like the possible engage from Leona or Azir, so he should be fine. The MF ultimate is up. He doesn't have she doesn't have mythic. Mushai doesn't have the mythic currently, and on the other side, the
Hmm.
Kraken Slayer is finished. Actually, all 5 mythics are almost completed, other than the support from Maple Lane. So,
Yeah, but
but
she may not have a mythic. She does have a bullet time ultimate on the home proc by Toyota here. Remember, once again, that ultimate lasts for a certain amount of time, but can extend if there's a cooldown. Crowstar comes out as the Banditos will take the Drake. The Arcane is being blasted in the backline though, but now the Banditos are just doing their best to survive. It was looked like a fight they were losing at first, but Cardinals is just so strong with this Gore Drinker here. He's healing up and he's just tanking all of this damage. And it looks like the Dorado News Squad will have to back off for now. Toyota will have to be a little bit careful. We'll heal up with that spell shield there. It does not refund mana anymore, as it now instead heals the Sivir whenever she blocks an ability. Hextech Drake going over to ROTM Banditos.
yeah, that was a really important fight for uh the Middlesex squad. I actually thought it was gonna go really bad because Toyota, El Rush and Lipolane, they all lived on like 1 HP. I think the same for the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
Really good time to start watch there. So like they all lived on barely any HP, and they were able to get the dragon away too. So they took what, 3 kills, 4 kills, and I think three for nothing plus the dragon. That will stall them a lot of time, and most of those kills went to the Azir, which was kind of not in pace with this game, and now he's
Mm-hmm.
caught up. That's actually even in CS too. So
Lippo Lane gets the fruit. A stun. Solar Flare does go wide. Marshall is still a tanky boy. The Olaf is here to back up the Mundo now. But now the rest of the Banditos are here to punish the Dorado News squad members who will just have to retreat back to the safety of their tier 1 turret.
yeah, interesting enough, the Olaf did go for the tenacity boots, even though the enemy team has a lot of tenacity, and out of your ultimate, that is really useful. I think just Tabais in general is just better, but um, other than that, it's looking awkward because I thought Mushai's ultimate would have just made a little bit more impact in that team fight,
Mm-hmm.
especially the one around the dragon. So the Kraken Slayer build not really doing it for now, but MF
Mm-hmm.
also does really well, like around full items with the on-hit build. It's not like she's bad with it, but I think Sivir
Mm-hmm.
will just be more useful. So I think they need to start pushing for these picks in the side lane without getting caught. I think keeping track of Fiddlesticks again is really important. The Azir
Mm-hmm.
shuffle has been really on point from El Rush too. It's like they
Yeah.
just need to pay a little bit more attention on the enemy team's roams. Lipolane has been really sufficient with his roamings, like to his solo laners. And
Yeah.
Toyota, while he's doing that, he's just keeping up with the CS, which is what he needs to. Like as soon as the Sivir hits 3, 4 items, that game is going to get really hard for Dorado to play, especially around like the 30-minute, 28-minute mark.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, we said it right. For the Banditos, the name of the game is that giant S word, scaling, and they are doing that now. And we haven't really seen much proactiveness from Dorado Gaming New. You know, I'm sure they took down the tier one mid turret, but both tier one turrets for the bot and the top lane still exist. They're still in play here. Marshall is looking to take down the top one now. We'll see if he can get, okay, yep, there it is, it's gone. So they are steadily making some ground and encroaching on the side of the Banditos map here. Um, but it's just I'm scared because once again, the Azir Sivir comboed with the Crow Storm is just gonna be such a pain to deal with. And they still have a Leona who's gonna be in your face, stunning you, slowing you up, and just causing you a bunch of headaches.
Yeah,
And
and
that doesn't even include the Aatrox, who's gonna be using all the Qs to just smash you,
yeah,
essentially.
those sweet spots really hurt.
Yeah.
Like those crit damage, just sometimes the ADCs just get one shot by like two or three of them. Not one shot, but two taps, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the problem with Dorado right now is that Broberry is not tanky enough to
Hmm.
deal with like the Azir and Sivir's damage, and
Should he
when
be even building tank items, or do you mean
not
more like
tanky, but like
fighter-ish items, death
well,
stands,
let
etc.?
me say he's not ahead of the curve enough.
Okay.
So like because Toyota and El Rush already have their items in,
Hmm.
like Toyota is almost two items in, so the burning down the Olaf is like really not a problem right now for them. And I
Yeah.
think as Olaf this game you want to be like really far ahead. Instead he's down 40 CS, so that's going to be a problem. But Broberry though,
Service Broberry just uses the Ragnarok to go in and will steal the Hex Texture. Bullet time coming out from Mushai here as High Ping Hero uses the Crowstorm to fear her away. Cardinal has found the flank though, as he was using the sweet spots to chunk out that misfortune, but she will be able to flash away as Lipple Lane and Cardinal are now looking to take down the support here, as the rest of the Banditos will follow up and take down the rest of the Dorado new squad. It looks like this mid lane turret will go over to the Banditos here, but they lost the Hex Tech Drake.
yeah, and they don't have their jungler, so I don't think they will be looking for the Baron either. There is a Zerath 50p, so the steal potential is always there. But they will take down the mid lane tier 1 and probably the tier 2, so that's a lot of gold in the end. They also took 3 kills from that trade. They're not going
Looks
to take
like
the
they
tier
won't get it.
2.
Yeah, Mushai showed up, so she's there to defend that turret. As Cardinal finds Tough Daddy here, stun, poke, but that is
Oh.
a zero. Oh, TP coming out from Marshall. Now the call an ambulance, but not for me. As Cardinal will actually, I was wrong. As El Rush was here to back up his top lane. Oh my goodness, what's just going on here? Everyone's just showing up for a bot lane party and there's no objective on the map. It's just literally minions and lane positioning.
Yeah. I think the important part there was like Tough was out of mana. So even though Marshall TP, they were not really able to do a lot to Cardinals. It was
Yeah.
just like his Zerath auto attacking, which doesn't really do much. But
Yeah.
yeah, the response TP just ends up as Tough going down. And Cardinals right now, he's really strong. El
Mhm.
Rush sitting on 7 kills and 700 gold shutdown. That's just massive right now.
Wow, I didn't even notice. You're right. El Rush, aka El Ruche, on 7-0-1 on this Azir, 700 gold bounty. And once again, Sultan, I did want to point out we're seeing a lot more Leandries. Basic, I feel like we're gonna see Leandries like a lot more in these mages, just because the procs now they don't stack. They are applied separately. So hold that thought though. As bullet time will be forced out from Mushai here. The Crow Storm comes out as well, but she will be able to cleanse it off and
Oh,
dodge away from the rest of the Banditos here. Cardinal and Marshall are fighting on the other side of the rift here, as High Ping Hero and Lipple Lane were just given over as sacrifices into that choke point there of the blue jungle on the Dorado side.
yeah, I think that was just like a little unnecessary from Lipple Lane and Hyping Hero. I think they
Hmm.
went in to stop the MF ultimate and like kind of have a
Yeah,
decent
he
engage
did.
on
He
them,
definitely did.
but like at that point they went too deep, and by the time Lipple Lane even got onto the MF, he was like just chunked so hard, and the Zonius didn't help Hyping Hero to get out. He was just in between like 4 Dorado gaming members.
Yeah.
So it just ended up as like them gifting 2 kills over. The interesting build is that Mushai is
Mm-hmm.
going for the Sheraldos. Because like Sheraldos makes more sense with MF since the bullet time plus the
Mm-hmm.
E, I think it was bullet rain. I'm not 100% sure.
Make it
That
rain.
yeah, make it rain. They both can slow through Sheraldos, but like if you're gonna go for that type of build, why not just go like Comet or PTA even instead of lethality?
Cardinal.
Because I think lethal tempo, when you run that, I think Lord Doms is just like a better item in general, so that you would
Mm-hmm.
do more DPS with your auto attacks. But what do we know?
Yeah. And trust me, I don't know much about the MF builds right now. I'm sure our ADC aficionado Daydream could give us some more information, but she's not here with us right now. But maybe if she's in Twitch chat, she'll let us know what her thoughts are on Mushai's build there.
Yeah,
As we
she'll
now,
probably flame in uh next week's content.
what was that? I didn't catch that.
I think she's just gonna flame on the next week's power rankings.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely now the highlight, and it will be the highlight for sure after this week has concluded. But in the meantime, we see both squads jockeying for position as this Hex Tech Drake is going to appear in about 30 seconds. High Pink Hero has already been chunked out about half his health. Cardinal is doing all he can to try and get these sweet spots. He does land on the hunt is proc as well. Crowstorm goes wide, but the bullet time does not. As Cardinal and the rest of the Banditos are trying so hard to fight their way into this pit, but they're getting poked out so much by Dorado Gaming New. Cardinal's already at an eighth of his health bar. Lipple Lane was trying to move forward, but Tough Daddy's just poking him so much. El Rush will go forward as he uses the shovel to knock 2 members forward, but it's not enough as the rest of Dorado Gaming New are just tearing through the Banditos, and they will get the Hex Tech Soul. Only Lipple Lane is left alive, and he's gonna have to run away and recall home.
yeah, and that's what happens when you just don't land or engage on a Zerath. He just like kept hitting his abilities, and they, the side of Banditos, they don't have anyone that can tank that type of damage. Aatrox is only tanky when he's in the middle of 4 people, when he can like actually sustain with his abilities and Core Drinker.
I think the Banditos should have committed. Like, they needed to go in and try and fight them as soon as possible because, like you said, getting poked out by that Zerath Misfortune Karma combo, I mean, we saw what happened.
Yeah, I think it was more about like how they use their engage more than commitment. Like the Crowstorm was almost wasted for nothing.
Yeah,
The
it
High
went
Pink
wide.
Hero just used it really bad. It wasn't even close to anyone important. And I think
Mm-hmm.
even if it landed, it was going to be on Olaf, which he can actually get away with it pretty easily.
Yep.
He just needs to press CR. And like Tough was just hitting them for so much. He has the Horizon Focus plus the injuries. He's hurting the Sivir, the Fiddlesticks, even the Leona. He's not tanky. He didn't go for the tanky build. Instead, he went for Evan Shroud, which
Mm-hmm.
is used for damage. I don't think their team lacks damage. I think Solari would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, you know, that fight was just really well played by the side of Dorado, just keeping their distance, keeping the
Oh,
range.
Marshall has found High Pink Hero. The Fiddlesticks will be taken down once again. And it's just getting from bad to worse now for the Banditos here as Dorado Gaming New look to take down this inhibitor turret.
I'm not kidding. If Dorado, not Dorado, but if Middlesex don't respect the poke and the Hextech Soul, the game might just be over here. The amount of poke damage
Yeah.
is ridiculous from the side of Dorado, and they do a decent amount of damage to the turrets as well.
Why-
The MF specifically.
Why are they trying? I understand why they're trying to harass the Olaf there, but like, it's a bad idea because he's just using himself as bait so that way Tough Daddy can poke them down as they take the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor as well. They're gonna back off now. More than likely, look to push this bot lane turret next. Yep, that answer is correct. So Sultan, for the Banditos here, what do you think they need to do to try and find their way back into this
I
game?
think I think they just need to slow it down. It's like they still
Slow it down
Gary's
at 30 minutes in the game?
Oh, no, but like they need to let Toyota to like finish at least the IE plus a possible fourth item. It's like just let
Well,
him
IE's
farm.
done now.
Well, yeah. Well, I this would be much better to fight with because like without that, your only damage source is Azir, which is getting outranged by the Xerath. So unless this Sivir is like hitting the Mundo de Olaf with
Hmm.
the boomerang shots while she's kiting, there's going to be all on the Azir, which also has to worry about the Olaf running towards them. So I think in that sense, they just kind of need to wait for Toyota's scaling, which will kick in. I think it might even start to kick in now. So I think this would be better fighting options, but the Hextech Soul being gone is just really rough for them.
Toyota using the ultimate again. There's the Crow Storm. Will land on two. Brobeer is chunked out immediately by Cardinal. Lipolane gets the Solar Flare and stun on Mushai there, but is immediately taken out. Bullet Time comes out and just rips through the rest of the Banditos. Right in the Arcane to burst them down in the back line as well. El Ruche will have to retreat into his base, and it looks like for Dorado Gaming knew that just might be game.
Yeah, I, I don't know. The Xerath is just doing so much damage with Muchai as well. I guess the build is kind of kicking in at this point. She has the 3.5 items in. The damage is there. Even whatever you build, you're gonna do damage with MF with that many items. So I think we're just seeing the end of the game. They played to their comp's strength. They did choke in few fights early on,
Mm-hmm.
especially around the second dragon. No, the third dragon. But being able to like, especially Broberry, he did go in on their own third dragon. They was able to steal it, and I think that was really crucial. That
Mm-hmm.
kind of put them onto the soul point, which eventually got them the soul. And after they have the soul, it's just so hard to deal with. Like the Xerath, especially make it rain, also procs it, so like they could actually start to engage from really
Mm-hmm.
far away with the slows, and it kind of ended up as Dorado just taking the game away, even though the Azir was like really fed.
Yeah, and you know what I do like about this game though, despite the fact that the Banditos lost, I feel like for the most part it was a pretty um balanced. I don't know if that's the right word I'm looking for, but the game felt even, right? It felt like either team could win, despite the fact that Dorado was up two drakes early. And then I think at just a certain point, high pink hero there was just on such a squishy champion, and they did not respect the Xerath poke enough from Tough Daddy, and that just that the balance tipped into Dorado News' favor. So quite unfortunate, but once again, they have another chance to force a game three. So we'll see how the Banditos respond and how they plan on coming back in game two here. Sultan, you have anything else before we cut to break?
I just don't like the R1 fiddlesticks. I think doesn't matter how comfortable you are on the champion, like you
Mm-hmm.
can get counterpicked really hard. Like the Mundo made it really hard for him to do anything. The
Mm-hmm.
carries from the side of Dorado was like really far ranged, so unless it was like really huge positioning mistake, it was
Mm-hmm.
really hard for the Fiddlesticks to get the Crowstorm onto those two. And then Olaf is just Olaf. You're not gonna CC him. So I think if you're gonna go for the pick like that, I think just waiting
Mm-hmm.
to see at least what the enemy jungler is gonna pick or the majority of the enemy team comp, so that you can at least like have an idea to how to use the fiddlesticks, because I think he wasted a lot of the crow storms, like three
Mm-hmm.
or four of them at least in these team fights, which would have been like really crucial if they didn't show the fiddlesticks early on and didn't get the counter pick, like the hard counter picked in the draft. Other than that, I think a lot of these lanes went actually fine for middle six. Azir was doing fine. The Aatrox was actually bullying Marshall for a while, and the bot lane I think also was playing with a lot of aggression, and they were pretty successful in the beginning. So I think just figuring out what they want to do with the jungle will help them a lot.
Well, we will find out here shortly how the Banditos respond as we prepare for game two. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, as we are here live for game two of the ROTM Banditos against Dorado Gaming New. And the first ban, the Banditos takeaway is the Zerath there. Are we surprised, Sultan?
No, I think not only that he played it really well, I think
Mm-hmm,
it's just one of his best champions.
mm-hmm.
So maybe because he was subbed in, maybe they just didn't respect it as much as they do it now. But yeah, the Zerath 4 tough is like a really good pick, one of his strongest picks. And we see a lot of supports bands coming through from Dorado, the Soraka, the Renata. Champions that mainly use as like just good disengage tools, I guess, with the
Well,
silence from Soraka, a lot of heals, and
screams
the
to
hostile
me,
takeover too.
screams to me a three target ban on Lippo Lane and a little bit one flex on El Ruche, right, with Seraphine. But yeah, that screams to me like they're trying to ban out Lippo Lane there from playing any of those enchanters right now. They don't want him on them. As we will see the Karma B1 being hovered here, and it will be locked in for the Bandito. So, um, very interesting pick here. It looks like Lippo Lane wants to run this enchantress this time around and maybe show Blobby how it's done.
Yeah, well, Bobby did win the game on it, so I don't know if it's really how it's done, but obviously, like Karma is a good champion. I think it's also the like just taking away from Blobby because Broberry does play. Well, they did bend the Wukong, but then there's still the Olaf. You can play Udyr with it. Karma just like really excels at helping the jungler and helping them take over, especially like not only the junglers but any carry on your team. So just taking that away is pretty good, especially when a lot of enchanters are banned. Just taking away the karma is good. And then the answer is the Nautilus, which is again super strong. They pair it up with MF again. MF it was she did have an awkward build, but I think it did work out in the end. The damage with the bullet time and the
The
auto attacks
surround
were
us.
yeah, the Sheraldus Kraken Slayer build did I guess do something in the end, but you know, we'll see. I think the MF Nullis is fine.
Oh man, that side there right there, Sultan. You
Oh.
sound so like just disappointed, but you've accepted you like I'm disappointed in your actions, but I'll accept you for who you are. As we see the Callista Zac picked up for the Banditos here on B2 and 3. This is a very different draft we're seeing from the Banditos here in game number two, I would say, Sultan.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see like Karma in a soul lane and then Zac being the support.
Oh,
I think
Lippo Lane
Zac
pulling the
going with
carrier,
Kalista.
pulling the carrier cosplay here.
Maybe I like Kalista. I've been seeing it a little more often than before.
Hmm.
She is a really like hard ADC to play compared to the others. Just the movement with your auto
Yep.
attacks, just being able to handle them under pressure. Sometimes in these team fights will be hard, but if he's efficient with it, you know, why not try it out? And I don't know if I was them, if I was down 1-0 in a series, I would have went with something a little safer as an ADC, like not too many risks, just knowing your win cons and like not really being under the pressure of like, okay, I need to play perfect or it's just going to be really hard for me. And I think Alyssa is one of them, especially into Diana, which is just going like a really sticky assassin that does a
Yeah.
lot of damage.
And we saw here, Sultan, our bans for the second round, the Yasuo Trundle taken away from by the Banditos, and the Silas Vigard taken away by Dorado New here. So I mean, the Yasuo is definitely actually both of those picks are really good bans from the Banditos. I mean, you have the Diana tip as we've seen now. It's typically you try to pair it up with the Yasuo. So I do like that ban, and Trundle is just always a good stable pick no matter what, right? So good ban away from the by the
Yeah.
Banditos there. As the Camille was locked in for Dorado New, and the Banditos will place Cardinal on the Fiora here. So wow, that's gonna be quite a matchup in the top lane. It's a carry v carry matchup I'm seeing in the top lane.
Yeah. Uh, I think I've seen Marshall and Camille a bunch of times. He is actually pretty good with it, but
Mhm.
I would favor Fiora a little bit if you're really good at Fiora and know how to play the champion.
Cassidy with the Aurelia Hubbard though from Dorado New. Please lock it in.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
say like Kassadin is normally good, but I think the blind Kassadin is not that well in mid lane. When you're facing against an AD pick like Yone, yeah, like it's just going to be really hard because Kassadin does tend to abuse mages after he hits level 6, because
yeah.
like after you silence them, they don't really do a lot. Then you just deal your burst damage, and then you already have like MR from your kid, the MR shields and all that. So it just makes it a little harder for you to play, especially into Yon, which is like he can actually keep up with your dashes, especially early on. After level 16, the dash cooldown is really low, but when you're level 6, those dashes are like I think 5, 6, maybe 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's a
So
really
that will
long
just
cooldown on the
yeah, so
level
it's just
one.
gonna make it really hard. And Yone paired up with Diana is still like pretty good. Not the Yasuo, but the brother, right? How bad can it be?
The
So
older brother too.
yeah, and I think the problem that I see is that Fio they have a really good split pusher, and
Yeah.
other than that, their main focus for this team comp is the Callista until this Castlin gets enough items. But
Mhm.
the problem is in these team fights, there's going to be a Camille coming on top of that Callista. There's going to be a Diana jumping towards her. There's going to be a Yone ulting in, and
Yep.
this is like without thinking about the Nautilus and BMF. So
Exactly.
with that much engage that can be focused towards the Callista, I think it's going to be pretty rough. And thinking that Side of Dorado has like 380 DPS champions, this Kassadin will not be as effective as if this was like a full AP team comp from like a Dorado gaming side. Like it's going to
Yeah.
make Diana's life harder, but I think other than that, it's not going to be as strong. I think Camille will indeed beat him because when the Hextech ultimatum comes through, Kassadin cannot ult out of it. So that's just going to be Camille winning that later on to the game as well.
Yeah, no, I mean you pretty much gave a very full in-depth analysis something that I don't have anything else to say here except I'll say it in simple terms for some of our viewers at home that may not have captured all that. Dorado Gaming New have a crap ton of CC that can just lock you down and they will kill you. ROTM Banditos, they're kind of like kids on the playground. They want to go all over the place and just cause chaos and not really play as a complete 5-man unit unless they need to. So, what I'm expecting to see from the Banditos is I'm expecting to see the Fiora and Cassidin once the early game is over. I expect to see them in the side lanes, farming up, just being side lane menaces and causing and taking as much map pressure away from the Zac, Callista, and Karma as much as they can. I expect to see those three in the mid lane. Once again, obviously, this is after the early game is over, pressuring that mid lane as much as possible while those two side laners are making Dorado Gaming New choose which carry do we want to deal with? Do we want to deal with the Fury or do we want to deal with the Cassidy? Like you're gonna have to commit at least two people to a champion in these side lanes once we get into the later stages of the game. So yeah, that's what I feel like is the simple explanation and the simple way I see these drafts for both teams right now. So Sultan, um, you obviously said 2-0 for Dorado Gaming New. I said 2-1 for the Banditos here. Do you still stand by that before we cut to a short break?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think the reason is that is like I think this team comp from Middle Sticks is really heavily reliant on how Hyping Hero does, or like what he chooses to do with the sack. Like the Cassidon will be not as effective until level 11, 16 with few items. Fiora again 1, 2, 3 items in the side lane against the Camille, compared to Camille which like kind of power spikes after one item. So this Zac has to get this Callista ahead. If he can get the Fiora or Cassin ahead, it's again good. But I think this Callista Zac, they need to do something. They need to go for the early dragons this time themselves because of the pressure that Kalista Karma can get through lane. If they play good, they might actually have a huge lead from the bot side. But again, this really heavily relies on how Middlesex use their team comp.
Yeah. Will the Banditos be able to finesse a win from the Dorado new squad? We'll find out here shortly as we prepare for game 2. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, as we are here prep for game two, the Banditos versus Dorado New. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves another 5-point lineup, just standard, as we observe both teams just hovering near that river and making sure that the other does not try any shifty shenanigans. Sultan, runes and summer spells as usual. Oh, got some
Yeah,
cheap
Mooch I took Comet this time, and it
uh
looks like we'll be going for which I think is like Eclipse, Man Immune, and the Shieldless build, which is much better if you're looking to get the most damage out of your abilities. It's also the on-hit build is really not needed when you have a Camille, Yone, and Diana in the front line. They will be already doing the auto attack damage, so you just need to sit in the back line and just send those abilities, slowing them, doing some damage, and just making sure the enemy team doesn't team fight just how they planned. And another thing, I guess, would be the Clothheimer start from El Rush. Is it El Rush or El Rouge? I'm
It's
really not
both.
sure.
He said he's fine with El Rush or El Ruche, so you can
Okay,
call him
I'll
either
go
or.
with El Rush.
Yeah.
The 4 pot start is actually good because there's a decent chance that he might get bullied in this lane. So just being able to stay in lane and get as much XP as he can without burning the TP is the most important thing for him. And on the other side, it is Grasp versus Conquer, which will favor Marshall in these like small trades with like if both of them getting one auto attacks off, and he's also running the Ignite instead of the Flash, which he doesn't really need the Flash. There's a lot of things that can catch him off guard for him to use the Flash, so I think that will just be really strong, especially in lane, thinking that he already like is stronger on one items.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna observe and watch how these, especially like the Banditos, right? We're gonna watch and hold that thought though. Blobbery landing the hook there on Lippo lane, and I believe, not I believe, Toyota and Blobby or Lippo lane. I'm sorry, need to be careful when in this lane. I mean, they are both squishy champions. Sure, you have a little bit of poke with the AP damage, the mantra kill, but I feel like Mushai and Blobby have the advantage early game and bursting either at least one of these champions out. You know.
Yeah, and the fact that hyping here is not even pathing towards his bot side, I think they might be on the back foot for some more time. This time Mucha is running the exhaust and Blobby is on the ignite, so they're gonna have much more kill pressure than the previous game where they were running
Cleanse.
cleanse exhaust.
Yeah.
So this time they have the kill pressure a little bit more. Plus the fact that Diana is also covering Marshall on the top side to
Mhm.
make sure he's not getting ganked by the Zac. This is exactly the early game start that Dorado wants. They have the lanes under control. They have really small CS leads, maybe not even that, but the fact that they just keep this pressure and they're good. I feel like the Dorado, not the Dorado, the middle six roster is not really synced up. Like the draft is not
Mhm.
synced up with each other. I think there's some champions that don't really want to do the same as each other. So
Mhm.
I think if Dorado just plays to their Vincon of like, just let's get level 6 and then we basically win team fights if we don't completely troll them.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see your reasoning in that analysis there, Sultan. Like, I mean, like we said, as Blobby will land the hook on Lippo lane here again, exhaust coming out from Toyota to deter and just slow down the Mushai burst there. I don't even think it was necessary. It might have been a panic exhaust, in my opinion.
Yeah, uh, better be safe than sorry, you know. Maybe
I
if he died, he was going to be like, why didn't he use the exhaust? So it's not the highest cooldown summoner, but oh, good play from Marshall.
Good play from Marshall as he will land the ignite. First blood coming out for the Camille takedown on Cardinal, and we didn't even see how that entire fight occurred. We just got the end of it. You know, it looks like maybe Cardinal took a tower shot. I'm not sure.
No. The, I think this just kind of shows that Marshall actually played this matchup a few times and he's comfortable with it. He baited out the W from
Hmm.
Fiora. Like he used his hook shot, stayed on the wall for a few seconds. And then what was the name for the ability? The W?
Camille's headshot.
No. Fiora's W. I
Oh, riposte.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he baited out the riposte, and then after he used that, he got the stun off
Oh,
plus
like
the
that.
ignite.
Yeah,
Yep.
like just like that,
Yeah.
huh?
Exactly. And now
And
he has a
Camille does
double
have the
V.
hashtag ultimatum. Robbery is here. The ultimatum
Oh,
is used, but it's parried by Cardinal, who will be able to escape.
yeah. Good parry this time. He didn't get baited this time, but uh yeah, I think the first blood going over will just kind of be painful for him. He got bullied again. There's a decent amount of HP difference. He doesn't have any health potions. So this will stick with him for a while. We do have the Zac staying around for a potential dive.
Oh, but Broberry's
Oh,
here as well as the parry comes out. Hyping hero, and they just chunk out the Camille.
what?
Broberry will flash forward though, and that's a double kill given over to Cardinal. Excuse me, double kill given over to the Banditos. One kill on both the top and jungle.
Yeah, I think Broberry's secondary try was really not necessary. Like, Marshall was already dead, so I think that was like a play that was just doomed. It was like the initial play from High Ping Hero, like the dive was fine from Marshall. He didn't know where High Ping Hero was, but like Broberry going in after knowing that the Zac is there, and he's literally sitting on.
Greed. Greed.
He's
One of the three deadly sins of a League of Legends player. Greed.
Yeah, but like you only have a recurve ult. Like you're not even fed. You're not gonna one shot anyone. So just trying to
Tough
go for that
Daddy.
play. Is
Solemn bound.
Oh.
Sorry, I thought he was gonna use the fate sealed and everything there to try and take out El Ruche, but the answer was no. Continue your analysis, Sultan.
Yeah, like I think that was just as you said, a big sin that is greed in League of Legends, and I think
Yeah.
just diving in general, especially like after the change that we saw during the durability update came through,
Mhm.
the dives like the turrets being stronger.
No, they
You
nerfed the
don't
turrets
have
though.
enough.
Remember?
What?
They nerfed the turrets.
Oh,
At
well,
first
they
they.
nerfed it, but it's still doing more damage than before, right? I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know. I would have to look at the actual numbers maybe. Because they buffed it during 12-10, but then they nerfed it, I think, 12-11, 12-12?
Yeah, no, they buffed it, but I think it was a little too strong. Oh, the hook shot didn't land. But
Yeah.
then they had to nerf it back a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think it's still stronger than before. Which
Okay. Also, the
again,
queen is telling me that they do more. So,
okay,
you are correct.
okay. So I think it's just still going for dives, especially with against the Fiora. I think when she has an ability like riposte, like you will never know if you mess up one thing,
Hmm.
that play is doomed, and you just give over a double kill. So that will kind of hurt them in the long run. And I think Cardinal is also looking to build for the Triforce instead of the Gore Drinker, which I like it a little bit more. I think it's better for the
You
solo
like
push, which
Triforce better on Fiora?
yeah, because like I
Wha-
think it's better for not Triforce, Divine,
Oh, yeah.
because it is better in the side lane. Like
Okay.
the Gore Drinker, yes, I think it is good, but Triforce helps you to get the turrets faster. I think it gives you a little bit an edge on the 1v1, especially with it if you're
Blobby will land the hook though, as the ultimate from Toyota is instead used, as they will launch forward on Mushai there. The ignite comes out, bullet time as well. Mushai is taken down. Blobby looks to be next on the menu. Hyping hero will elastic switch on it, flashes forward, gets the knockup, gets the headbutt as well, and this Zac has so much damage. He's taking out. Oh, he was going to take out the two top laner and jungle combo of the Dorado new squad, but instead it was flipped on their head, a double kill given over to Marshall, and I'm sure he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Oh, that was really close. That was a good try from Hyping Hero, but just
Yeah.
not enough in the end. A little
That
bit more
Zac
damage.
damage just
Fine.
couldn't come through in the end.
Yeah, and Fiora just walking back, and just good, I guess, awareness from Marshall to just like jump in for the kill. But also still, just
Yeah.
making sure he gets the double kill, and that will make it really hard on Cardinal. I think Marshall is waiting on Triforce. A few more golds. Yep, that's a
I
completed Triforce.
I Yeah, I don't know how much health Cardinal had left, but I knew he was definitely he wanted to help, but he was scared because he didn't want to give over a double kill. But he still
Yeah.
did anyway. But I think if Cardinal was a bit healthier, I think that would have been theirs. But quite unfortunate that that was not the case. As Blobby is looking for an engage, he will
Oh,
force out the flash from
flash.
Toyota, but High Pink Hero is here. Will get the knockup as Mushai is almost chunked out. High Pink Hero takes the kill on the MF. Blobby looks to be next. Broberry will have to flash away, and this gank from Dorado Gaming new is a complete and utter
Oh,
disaster. As Lipoland gets through it on Blobby here, they will give the kill not to Toyota, but the Zac takes it 3-1 and 1. What are you doing? You need to give Callista some gold, you KS thief.
yeah. Those skills would much be better on Kalista, but I think Zack is one of those things where like even with gold, he's just does so much damage. It's just I think it's just not fair, but
You think Zac
Um,
does damage? Or maybe because this is 12-10, post 12-10 Zac, we're seeing everybody just do damage now. Because I don't,
um,
Zac didn't really do a lot of damage
have you ever
pre
seen
12-10,
have you
in my
ever seen
opinion.
Zack with Sunfire Demonic Embrace jump on your backline and one shot your ADC?
I have not
That's just
seen that.
that's the most tilting thing on earth. I swear. I just it just happened to be so much, but um, yeah, the kills would be much better on Kalista. But I think the Dorado is just kind of not knowing the limits of the enemy team's champions. They're just not
Mhm.
respecting the Kalista enough. Like even without playing it perfect, Kalista will out damage you eventually, just because of the nature of the champion. Like if you're trading the same amount of auto attacks, she will come out on
Mhm.
top. And I think we haven't talked a lot about the mid lane this game because there wasn't really a lot of action. But
Yeah.
the first item choice from El Rush actually made it so that Tough doesn't really have a good laning phase. The Frozen Heart makes it super
Oh,
rough.
wow. I didn't even notice that. Nice.
Yeah,
Call out.
it like the cloth armor start just kind of is for this, but it just makes it so hard for the Sion to actually trade into him. The Zac?
Elastic
Oh,
screenshot, Shreking strikes. They will be knocked up. Broberry using the less bounce there, as Broberry will be taken down by El Rush. The rest of Dorado New is in the middle of the fray, and it looks like they will punish the Banditos for their hubris. Rush was almost able to get out, but he will not, as Marshall will flash forward, and Marshall is not done. He wants to take this Camille down. Camille for Marshall right now. He is styling all over the Banditos, but Cardinal looks to take down the shutdown gold on Marshall. He'll be able to do so. Tough Daddy will have to vault himself away from this Fiora, as he does not want to give any other kills over to the Banditos, but they will get the Mountain Drake for their efforts.
yeah, and it didn't look bad. It actually looked really as like a really good engage from Hyping Hero, but once you don't finish a team fight early on, the Yone ultimate came through, the bullet
Yeah.
time, and then eventually Marshall just coming into the team fight with the TP. It like I think Marshall is just really just too strong right now. The Hextech
Six
ultimatum
two
was
and
actually
one, 300
perfect.
gold bounty. Look at Marshall right now. But the gold overall, like, it's still only it's actually 400 gold in favor of the Banditos right now.
Yeah, like it is 400 gold, but thinking that you have a Callista, you actually have a decent laning phase from the Fiora into Camille, and
Mhm.
like this is a range versus melee matchup, so Karma can actually farm a lot of support item stacks. So I think the gold lead is just kind of normal, but um, the fact that this will just get harder in these team fights, like we saw, the team fights will for the team fights to go in favor of Banditos,
Mhm.
it's going to require some like really good vision setup, before the fight even starts, and then also like really good execution. We
I
also
just,
see El
I
El
just
Rush.
have to say real quick, Sultan. Hold that thought though. As the Hex Tech ultimatum on El Roche
Ooh.
will land, the fate sealed miss as Let's Bounce is here to ensure that Tough Daddy has been taken down. But now the Moonfall is here, crashes down on both of the Banditos members. Lippel Lane will have to flash away. Hypero is doing the best he can to try and peel for his support here. Mushai is here to back up the jungler of the Dorado News squad, and the rest of the Banditos will just be able to back off and take themselves home.
Yeah. To be honest, the Lane actually lived with like maybe 50 HP. And it did
Yeah.
end up as a 2-for-1. Plus, Cardinals is just like just sitting in the top side, hitting the turret, getting more CS. This
Mm-hmm.
will put down Marshall a level down, and this might actually hurt him in the long run because this gives time for Cardinals to kind of even up the gold if he can take the turret too.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I think Fiora might actually eventually outscale Camille.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one outscales. I know both champions actually do pretty well in the late game with 2-3 items. I think it will
Yeah.
eventually be like it will come down to how they play that specific fight or like the skirmish. But I think I really like what I'm seeing from El Rush
Ooh.
until now. He's been playing it pretty good.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the fact
and that's
that
what I wanted to say, Sultan. I wanted to call out, like, thank you for noticing that, and really smart play from El Rush building that frozen heart there first, right? You saw the Yone trying to do damage on him, but it just looked really Yone is ineffective, right? All that armor, and you barely hurt him. As
oh
hyping heroes, elastic slingshot, stretching strikes combo will go wide as Marshall is just able to back off for a bit and then continue to bully Cardinal here in this lane. But he's gonna have to be careful because you never know. Hyping hero does have a different pathing he can take to try and get behind this Camille and Punisher. But it looks like right now they're just gonna take Shelly on off the board.
yeah, and to be
Robert
ooh
Moonfall, El Rush will Rift walk away from the Diana and is just able to get up, but her ultimate has now just been used, I would say almost for nothing. Ignite Flash from Cardinal as Hyping Hero is now left alone between a Yone and a Camille. They're slicing, they're dicing this slime all across this river here, and who's gonna get the kill? They give it to Tough Daddy. 1-1 and 5 now on the Yone.
yeah. That was really that was a much needed kill for Tough.
That
I
was
think
bullying. And
yeah.
very violent hearing all those sword strikes.
Yeah, and especially like Cardos almost died. It's nice that he didn't go down, but they gave up well, that play eventually end up as them losing the tier 1 mid turret, which like what are you gonna get out of the second herald? Like i- at best you can actually, if you get an ace with it, you can get like 2-3 turrets with it, but in a normal scenario you're at best going to get like a turret, maybe a turret and a half, get another charge, and you already gave up a full turret for it, the mid turret at that. So I don't think it was the play that was worth what they gave up, but it looks like they might actually take back the tier 1. They also, because the side of Dorado has to answer to this herald,
Yep.
they might get the prio and
They do
the
get the
river for now.
prio. Drake has not spawned yet though, nor have they taken down the mid tier 1 turret. So now Dorado is heading into this infernal pit here as the Banditos now will position themselves on the south half of this river here. Cardinal is pushing top lane.
Oh,
Blobby gets the depth charge. Fake sealed in the back line. This Tough Daddy just obliterates the rest of the Banditos. Fate calls though keeps Blobby Lippel Lane alive a little bit longer. Callisto has been taken out. Toyota has been Toyota has been taken out as well. Tough Daddy and the rest of the Banditos are doing the best they can to just obliterate this Bandito squad. Marshall, Blobby, and Broberry are still alive. Fiora is actually okay. Durability patch coming in, but they will be able to take out the Fiora here, and they will claim their prize. This Infernal Drake for Dorado Gaming. New. Wow, what a fight, Sultan.
yeah. I think I don't know. I think for Banditos, it was the fight started when Cardinals was already top. So by the time he TP'd,
He
like the
TP
fight was
late.
almost over. The Fate Seal like came through, and like Toyota was down. Lippo Lane was almost useless in that fight. El Rush was in the middle of three people. Like he did take two with him, which was fine. He was able to take down Tough in the end, and but the fight just didn't go in their favor. They gave more kills than what they got. They lost the dragon, which
And
puts Dorado on soul
and
point
Dorado
again.
New are once again on Soul Point, just like in Game One. And this time, Banditos don't even have a single Drake to their name.
Okay, but why is Mushai going LDR?
I don't know.
Wait,
Maybe our consultant Daydream can let us know.
but she went shieldless last game. Why not this game?
I don't know.
Well, maybe he wants to do more damage to Kassadin and Zack? I don't know. I in the end, as I said last game, I think with MF, as long as you're building AD and
Cardinal here fighting Marshall, getting the upper hand. Marshall will have to hookshot away. Cardinal is chasing the Camille down here into that jungle. I would rather see that fight instead, but the director camera has other ideas as Tough Daddy was trying his best to chunk down El Ruche. Bullet time will go wide as El Ruche just rift walks away.
oh,
Lobby though. Lobby once that the
Oh.
death charge does land, and that will be all.
that was an awkward interaction, but
Yeah.
yeah, both the Soul Lane is from both sides, living on some low HP bars from both sides. The Marshall is actually losing the 1v1 right
He's
now.
in the moonfall. Will that ultimate will land onto the head of Toyota, who is just obliterated. The Callista goes down, but El Ruche is here. He is the one of the only two damage dealing sources left here for the Banditos. They are fighting underneath the tower of Dorado Gaming New, and this fight was just a complete disaster. They have now been near ace, and Dorado Gaming New will probably look towards this Baron here.
Yeah, that was a really forced fight. You already lost Callista, so you don't have your major damage dealer. Plus, the Fiora
Callista only
is a-
has 2 items. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, 2 items is
2
like
point.
fair. Like for the game state right now, most of the players are 2 items in, but
But
the
for
fact that-
Callista, she wants an extended fight though, right? Like with that, with the Ginsu's there and the Immortal Shield Bow, she doesn't want a quick fight, and her Toyota getting caught out there is just really hurts them.
well, I think this kind of comes down to what we talked in draft. It's just
Yeah,
this Callista will not get to play the game. Like with Camille in the game, like she cannot kite out of the Hextech ultimatum. Nobody can peel him off of them. Like the Camille, like the Hextech ultimatum pushes away your teammates. So it's like you're in a 1v1 against the Camille. You're never gonna win that as a Callista. Like thinking that this Camille is also 11 kills in, almost the same as
Yeah.
Banditos' whole squad. Like
oh my god,
it's going to be really rough for
I
them to
didn't
deal with.
even notice here. What is Hyping Hero doing? Okay, thank God. I thought he
And
was.
Mushai, he
Mushai's
almost-
going crazy right now. She is
Yeah.
just all over the place.
Ooh.
With those bullet times here, Cardinal will just be able to walk away from Tough Daddy.
To be honest, like this game will just get much harder because like the Diana's scaling is actually
Oh
Ooh,
boy,
this might be a
you're
little
right.
forced.
Actually, that ultimate didn't do anything as Burberry, the Moonfall was rendered useless here, but Blobby has now hooked himself into the backline. The bullet time comes out as well as Hyping Hero has activated his passive, but there's just nothing the Banditos can do as Dorado has just obliterated the Banditos before Cardinal and El Ruche could do anything. They are just stuck in side lanes here, but they're gonna lose their inhibitor tower.
yeah. I think the problem here is that
Oh, they don't.
Decided-
They choose not to take it. Wow. Okay.
well the soul is coming up in 10
Yeah.
seconds, so like that's obviously the prio for them, but it's just awkward how Banditos are playing this because you have 2 players in the side lane, so all you have to do in the mid to like just not get engaged on, even if like that Diana engages, you know that there are people like following him up. Like I think it would be dumb to assume that Broberry is just gonna look to one-shot someone with his build right now. So it's obviously to like force a fight while you have your soul laners in the side lanes. So you should just back off, and like their side laners are actually winning the matchups. The Fiora is much, at least in the 1v1, much stronger than Camille. Camille is better
Despite
in the team
Camille
fights.
being 13-3-6, isn't that funny?
Well, yeah. Well, that's just how it goes. Like Camille is better and just has more usage in team fights because of like the fact that she can take down the enemy
her
carry
kit,
into the Hex and
yeah.
ultimate him. But Fiora, if it's a single target 1v1, right? It's just he literally one shots. The true damage that comes from her ultimate is just way too much for Camille to deal with. And this is a champion that has Cho'Gathar on her Q, and even then it's not enough, right? So
And she's looking for those vitals there. Cardinal and the rest of the Banditos are stuck between a rock and a hard place in their own jungle as Hyping Hero is doing the best he can, but Cardinal's on top of Mushai. Mushai will have to flash away. Cardinal takes on Mushai with the grand challenge there. The misfortune is down. Burberry will have to go in stasis as Toyota is taken down once again, but maybe Cardinal can put the team on his back as the Fate Seal does land on 2. Cardinal and El Ruche are the only ones left alive, and that has changed. Double kill given over to Tough Daddy. Dorado Gaming New will look to take this inhibitor here. Will they take the base next?
yeah, Cardinal kind of wasted his ultimate on Mushai. He wanted to one-shot him, but I think he can one-shot Mushai without
Mushai hurt.
ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, hurt. So
You're good.
I think
you're
I think it would have been better for him to like keep the ultimate to himself and use it later on to Camille or someone else. But
They're
you're
trying
seeing
for it.
like this Callista, just it's really rough. I don't even think it's like Toyota's fault. Like the team comp that he's playing against, it's really close to impossible. Like there's a Yone, there's Nautilus, there's a Meph. Like you don't even get to hit anyone, and the only people that you get to hit are like Yone and Diana and Camille that you're really scared of. So that would be like, I don't know. Ooh.
And the reason I'm laughing, I'll let you know in just a second here, Sultan. But Hyping Hero gets the stretching strikes there on Marshall. Will get the interrupt again as wait, did he just explode the Zac with the ultimatum? Like, yeah. Oh my god.
That was a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, so why I was laughing is because in chat, Cardinal said GG initially when the Nexus turrets were going down, but then they couldn't end, and he said, never mind, it's winnable. But then we just saw Hyping Hero get bursted out, so I don't know how winnable it is anymore.
The game is not over until the enemy team
Destroys
finishes off the Nexus, right?
Correct,
But
correct.
to be fair, this game is just like looking a little rough. You have a 16-3 Camille, and we saw what that Camille did to your tank. I think this is why Camille is like probably I just don't like the champion. I think the fact that you cannot exhaust the damage, you cannot, like, you can be a tank, you can be a squishy, and she'll just one-shot you. Doesn't matter what happens. And it's just, I hate playing against that. Like, I just hate true damage champions in general.
Tough Daddy dodging the riposte there with the dash. Fate Seal will come forward, but he does miss as Cardinal is now backing off. But Dorado Gaming New don't care. They'll just take the Baron instead. Baron number 2 for Dorado Gaming New.
Yeah, I think this game is just kind of, it's just a wrap at this point. Like, even the Kassadin level 16 will not really do anything.
Yeah, as it looks like Dorado Gaming New have decided this game is over. El Ruche is taken down. Toyota was next. Hyping Hero will be next as well. Cell Division be damned. This game does not matter because Dorado have said it is over. They're working on these Nexus turrets here. Cardinal is here. I think he just wants to try and take out at least one member of New for Retribution, but the answer is no, and he will be denied that takedown. Dorado Gaming New win the series 2-0, and GG for Dorado Gaming New.
I was right.
Shut up.
I was right with my prediction. Well, I think most of these games, in my opinion, like not to take away anything, I think Dorado really played it perfect. Like they knew
Hmm.
how to play the team fights. They did get like the Camille in game two, and the Zerath in game one. I think they
Hmm.
both like hit the mark really good about what they wanted from them.
Yeah.
And I think there were just like really good drafts from them because they were able to just neutralize or absolutely counter what Middle Six wanted to do with their team comp. Like
Hmm.
they made sure this Kalista wasn't having a good time. They made sure this Kassadin didn't have a favorable matchup, and they did have a side laner that can actually match Fiora in the side lane. So like game two was, I think, just pretty easy from that perspective. Game one, the fiddlesticks, which was like supposed to be like the team fight game changer, was almost useless because of the amount of range and CC immunity that Dorado's comp had.
Hmm.
Plus the fact that you have a Leona, which is also gets countered by CC immunity. It just gets worse and worse the later the game goes on, and the Zerathis take the game over game one. I think Dorado was really prepared for these series. The drafts and the game plans, I think, showed up pretty well, and they just performed on their comfort picks. And when you do all those three, that's the recipe for success.
Okay, yeah. Great analysis there, Sultan. And we will have ourselves an interview with one of the Dorado Gaming new members. It will be Broberry, but we're going to take a short break as we prepare for that interview. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. It's Redacted here with Sultan, and we have the jungler here, Broberry from Dorado Gaming New. Broberry, congrats on the win. You all now complete, or not complete, continue the streak of every Dorado org so far, 2-0ing their opponents. I don't know how your other sister team, Gamma, has done. Maybe I'll take a peek at standings, see if they've finished their series, but good job. So how do you feel so far?
Uh, this is my first game on Dorado New.
Mhm.
I'm a sub, and it's been a lot of fun. My sister's on the team, the ADC, and yeah, it's
Oh,
been fun.
really?
It's been fun. Yeah.
Who's your sister? Oh, is your sister Musha?
Mushai. Yeah,
Oh,
Mushai. Yeah.
also brother, sister, combo
Yep.
here tonight.
Yep. Had the
Oh
green
wow.
links. Hmm.
Okay, Sultan, you want to start off with any questions for Brobear here?
Well, I guess I will start with congratulations as well. Well, being the sub, I think it looked like you guys had a decent synergy with the team overall.
Yeah.
So, but I think Tough and you guys like both sub. Then, did you guys like
hmm
practiced with this team,
We
or
practiced. Yeah, we
was it
practiced a
like
little bit. It was a little like informal, some rank flex games. Nothing too serious though, and
Like
just talking about drafts and stuff.
rank flex
that's all you
games
need?
like last
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
or
Last
like
night,
over the course of the week.
throughout the week, throughout the week, throughout the week. Yeah,
Okay, because hey, I mean, practice is practice, right? Even if it was the night before.
of course. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about game one here. So game one, they are one Fiddlesticks, and then okay, so their first three picks were Fiddlesticks, Sivir, Leona, and you all picked the Karma, Misfortune, Olaf. And
Yeah.
then you rounded it out with the Zerath Mundo. They rounded it out with the Azir Aatrox. Were you all I don't want to say nervous, but like how did you all think about approaching their lineup there?
Oh,
Is that
so
why you picked the Zerath?
I don't know. Tough is just he was feeling the Zerath, but I think we were playing like the flex, and he pulled
Mhm.
out the Zerath, and the man was doing unthinkable amounts of damage. And I was just like, I mean, I'm liking the Zerath, especially into the Azir. He doesn't really get punished early, and I was just like hovering, making sure that Azir couldn't do anything with Fiddle. So
Mhm.
it was just four drags, ended the game pretty easily, and wasn't too bad.
Did you guys like had a game plan going into the game? Because obviously you guys were able to counterpick the Olaf into the Fiddlesticks Leona,
hmm
and then you also had the Karma to pair it up with. It's like while you guys were going into the game, you were like, okay, guys, let's get the early dragons, let's get it rolling, and then kind of just take the game over from there.
Yeah. We had like kind of a plan, I guess. Like we wanted to group more so that like Fiddle couldn't get all this stuff down, I guess, the ultis and the fears and stuff. And he kind of got it early game, but we started locking it down. And yeah, I mean we had sort of a plan to try to flex the Olaf because he can also go top. And then
Yep.
Yeah.
Karma is just always good with it. And then we had the poke so that they couldn't like engage on us. It was pretty good.
Yeah, and that showed during that. I saw one. I believe was that the third Drake or the
Yeah,
Soul where
yeah, I think it was the soul, and the Leona just got immediately chunked. So was the
that fight was
yeah,
nasty. The
so was
Crow
the
Storm went
Aatrox.
wide.
Yeah. I think they crow stormed to try to get into the pit or something. I don't know, like into the mid river.
It,
It was
yep.
really weird. We were like, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. So before we talk about game two here, I just wanted to ask you all, what I mean, this is the first week, so
hmm
and Banditos are your first opponent. What did you think about them coming into this week? Like, I'm sure you guys did some scouting with OpGG, or did you not even scout at all? You just focused on yourselves.
Um, I mean, yeah, we did scouting, but I think well, I don't know too much because I'm a sub, but
True.
I think it was Cardinals was a sub as well, and I think yeah, we were really focused on like banning out the support like
Yeah,
enchanters,
Lippo.
like the
Yep,
Renata, yeah,
we
and
saw
stuff like
that.
that. Yeah, we were just sticking to the game plan going in, and then there was nothing wrong with game one, so yeah, we took it to
Mhm.
game two. Yeah, wasn't too bad.
Why did you all? Sorry, Sultan. I feel like I'm taking over all the questions, but I gotta get this one in real quick. Why did you all want to ban out Lippo Lane so bad? Like, why focus him?
I don't know. There are a lot of just like the Renata and then it was the Amumu was like flexed or something. I was like looking at their master history and the OPGGs and the coach was saying stuff like that. And the Renata and the Soraka, I mean, those are just like cancer champions to play
Yep.
against, I feel. Especially like as an AD or as a jungler mid. It's just you feel like none of your poke hits, none of your damage matters if there's just revives left, right, and center on a basic ability. So
Fair.
yeah.
I'm gonna let Sultan get some questions in.
Well, I was just thinking. Well, this is not really a question, but I guess she is your sister. What was the builds with DMF? Because
Oh yeah.
I wasn't
Okay,
able to
okay,
shoot.
okay.
I wasn't
Okay.
able to
No, no,
figure
no.
out.
That's a good question.
I don't exactly know because I'm not an ADC main, but all I know is Hextech Dragon Soul with Sheralda's. That made it so easy for Tough to
Because
hit
of the
all of
chain
his
lightning, I
abilities.
guess, right?
Exactly, yeah, because it will apply the
Uh,
The
the
slow.
Sheralda's. Yeah,
I
damaging
agree with
abilities.
I agree with the Sheraldas. It's just interesting
Oh, I
about
mean,
the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
that
The build is
oh
confused, right? Because of the Kraken and then the
yeah,
Collector and Sheraldas. But I mean, I feel like the Kraken is to get through like the early game, and then the Sheraldas and the Collectors. Once we like are already winning, it's just the stomp kind of build
fair.
path.
I was
And
just surprised with like she took over, like she took Sheldas over,
mhm.
um,
LDR,
Lord
yeah,
Dom's game 1, and then game
yeah.
2, while she was going the lethality build, she did opt in for the
She did the
LDR.
opposite,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's because especially game two. I mean, it was the Frozen Heart Rush, and then we were playing against Zach, and
Yeah,
we knew that like Marshall could take them over, but we also wanted the like guarantee if he's not in the fight or he's like TPing late, then like we at least have some damage to put down because like Tough wasn't building, or he did build that, but like
Yeah.
he was focused more on the other people. So yeah.
and I guess one more question. This is just straight about game 2.
Mhm.
It just looked awkward. I don't know what the communication was, but about the dive in the top lane, the like you flashed it
So what that
afterwards.
was? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so what that was
Great
that
question.
was
Go ahead.
it was just a massive wave, and we knew that he had the like a riposte or something, and he wanted to dive, and I was like, okay, we can dive, but I wasn't there in time, so it just made it look very awkward as Zach's flying over the wall. I'm flashing deeper into their base. It just looked really bad. But yeah, definitely hindsight did not look like a good play. But maybe if I was like wrapping around, it would have been better.
Mhm.
But yeah, it definitely was very awkward. And the riposte just like hit all of my abilities, and I didn't get the reset on the E.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, I actually have no further. Actually, you know what? My next question for you. Actually, this will be my last question for the
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
So, obviously 2-0 against Banditos right now. Next week, you all are facing. Find the schedule. You are facing Dragon Claw Cloud. Any thoughts going into that matchup? Well, we don't have any. We don't have much match history reports just yet.
Mhm.
But have you looked at them a little bit yet already, or no, not
Gosh,
yet?
Or
You're
I
just
mean,
focused on this week.
or are you or let's say are you also going to be playing?
yeah, I have no clue. I was about to say because I'm a sub. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that they're playing, but I don't know if like they've probably looked into them, probably been scouting for sure. Um,
Okay.
but we'll see the coming week if I'm gonna be playing or if it's gonna be Cypher the
So did they
main.
like call you up today and
No, 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 no.
or
It
like
was
do you always play with the team like during like
because yeah,
scrims and whatnot
we knew
in
that
houses?
Cypher wasn't gonna be playing this week, so
Okay.
that's when like I started playing throughout the week to get ready for today.
Understood.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So yeah, we'll
Okay.
see.
All right. So and any other questions from you? That's all I got.
That's all from me too.
Dang, didn't even
All
talk about game
righty.
two. I mean, that one was an even more of a stomp.
Oh, oh, there wasn't really a lot to talk. I think the
That's what I'm
game 2
saying.
draft,
No, that's where
Yeah,
there's
like,
more
yeah.
to talk about.
the game 2 draft. I think overall you guys just
It was just
did
such a
a
gap. Yeah,
great job.
It was CC diff.
all I'm
It's just
saying, man. Yeah, million
Calista.
points on Callista, and it looked like it was 100K.
Well,
Tragic.
well, I think it's just like almost impossible to play that
That's
champion
what
with
I'm
that comp.
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
It's
Camille
impossible.
exec ultimatum comes through. The Diana is coming with the
Right, yeah.
ultimate. Plus the tanky Diana build made it so like they were not able to kill you.
Exactly. No, my coach was like, "It's not a tanky Diana game." I was like, "Bro, I don't. I just watch the game."
I
It's,
think it was fine because of the fact that like everyone on their team also like itemized towards it.
yeah.
Like the Cassidon was not going for the burst damage, but like the Riftmaker Frozen Heart
Hmm.
build, and then obviously the Zac. It's not really the bursties
Right,
champion,
yeah.
so I really like that build. Like from time to time, and
Actually,
obviously the tenacity that it gives also
Yeah.
always helps.
I lied, bro. Bear. I have one more question for you. So I just found out your sister team also in the same conference here also went 2-0 against DZG Olympus. So both of y'all are now, tied for first place, tied
Of
in
course, of
match score
course.
and in game score. How do you feel about having another Dorado team in the same conference as well as on the other side of the conference? Like there are three of y'all competing for
Right.
basically, essentially the crown, right? And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
chance to go to Amateur Worlds for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, we always want to see like the sister teams win, and it's always like good fun when we have to like go against each other or something because we were always scrimming. But it's really good. It's really nice to see they went 2-0, that we went 2-0. And
Yeah,
maybe
another
it'll be a
easy
little
dub for Dorado Gaming. It looks
exactly
like.
another easy sub for Dorado Gaming as scheduled, as per script, of course. But,
All right. Yeah, so I mean that's all I got, Sultan. I believe he said he's also done asking questions. Broberry, congrats on the win. Congrats to your organization for the 2-0 wins throughout both conferences tonight. We'll let you get back to your team. I'm sure you guys will definitely do some VOD review or just celebrate
yeah,
the win.
hey, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But with that being said, we thank all our viewers at home for joining us tonight. Sorry it wasn't a 3-game series that some of you may have wanted, but I hope you all still enjoyed it. We will have more CCS though for you all tomorrow, as tomorrow is the inaugural start of our Diamond Elo. It will be streamed. We will have a stream here, same time, same place. Stay tuned and join us for the inaugural split of our Diamond Elo. But in the meantime, I'm Redacted once again, signing off with Sultan. We thank you and we hope you all have a good night. Peace.